Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This is LinguaFY Podcast. This is our first episode, and my name is Kristina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chudi, and today we're going to be discussing about something that we all do multiple times a day, and that is eat. But here's a twist: we're going to be discussing a lot deeper. The question today is going to be how do your or what does your eating habit say about you?
Judy, did you know that an average person makes over 200 food decisions a day?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't. I
impressive.
didn't know that.
That's so interesting. I think that food matters a lot for each of us. We make decisions about what to eat, when to eat, and who to eat with.
That's interesting. And the whole point of today's conversation is going to be what does your eating habit say about you in terms of your food ritual, your guilty pleasures, your food cravings? How does it sort of like define who you are?
A guilty pleasure is something you enjoy a lot, like food or activity, but feel a little bad about because it's not healthy or socially proper. For example, eating chocolate late at night can be a guilty pleasure.
In the context of a person's culture, person's personality, person's value. Let's dig in.
Okay, let's start talking with about the most important meal of the day, breakfast. There are people who truly believe that breakfast actually is the most important meal of the day, and they get up, they are in the kitchen immediately, and they start toasting bread, scrambling eggs, blending something, making a smoothie. They believe that it is really important to have a breakfast because if you have breakfast, you have energy, you stay focused, and you are full up to noon. But there are those who believe that it's not a good idea to have breakfast and they prefer to skip breakfast. Those are called intermittent fasters. Fasting means not eating for a set period of time. Intermittent fasters are people who follow a special eating plan where they only eat during certain hours of the day or certain days. The rest of the time, they don't eat, they fast. Those people get up and they just can sip some black coffee and or drink some water, and they believe that it's good not to eat up until noon because this is the way how you feel more focused. This is the way how your body cleans, and actually both approaches I think are very good. So it's you can only choose what works for you. Works for you. Do you usually have breakfast?
No, I mean that group of people who are into intermittent fasting. For me, like I'm just wake up in the morning, of course, do other morning routines and get straight to work. For me, like having breakfast sort of like interrupts that flow. So I'm more of uh well, more of the people who do intermittent fasting. Yeah. What about you?
Honestly, I prefer having breakfast. I do really need something high with high level of carbs and protein to stay full and to avoid having snacks. Fats, carbs, and proteins are three main nutrients in food that give your body energy and help it work properly.
Okay. Uh, if you're watching and we want to know if you are morning person in terms of are you a breakfast person or are you into intermittent fasting, you can put it in the comments. We'd like to know what particular ritual that you do. Talking about rituals, there are also those people who prefer to cook, while there are others who prefer to order. I mean, for some people, they think that or they believe that chopping, slicing, cutting, those food activities or cooking activities are sort of calming and meditative for them, and well, there's the others who, well, they probably don't have the time, to cook. They just prefer to make an order, and get food delivered to them. I, for one, I used to be in the camp of those who ordered, but recently the habit of cooking just sort of like grew on me, and I switched more of like a person who cooks. I believe that you have no choice. I think you're a family person, so you do more of cooking, yeah?
I'm a family person, and of course, I do cooking, but I also like to order sometimes. I honestly believe that it's important to strike a balance. You like cooking, but sometimes you need a pause. And this is when you can go out, you can eat out, and you can order. This is a very good option.
So what can you say? I mean, what can you say when it comes to food rituals? What do you think about food rituals in general?
Personally, for me, cooking is a food ritual, but I also think that food rituals is about something deeper, something more profound. For example, some people get together, they gather at the table and they have these family dinners, they discuss something. This is about being connected. And this is not only a food habit, this is a food ritual. For another person, it might be just having a coffee somewhere in the garden. It's a time, it's a specific time when you relax, when you focus only on yourself and you truly enjoy this coffee.
Mm. So rituals are generally beneficial.
Of course, they are. Do you have any rituals?
Uh,
Any food rituals,
food
I mean.
rituals. Besides intermittent fasting, and of course cooking. Yeah, I do have rituals. Again, like I said, it's sort of like you know uh, builds up as you go along. Trying to sort out your daily activities, and you just sort of like build this ritual to ensure that you're more effective in how you manage your life, how you manage your time, and then before you know it, you have food ritual. So I'd say that I have food ritual. Yeah,
Yeah,
certainly.
I would say that food rituals can differ from country to country, for family to family, but you can choose what works for you. And if it works for you and it doesn't work for another person, it doesn't mean that it's something bad. So you just have to listen to your soul, listen to your body, to your mind, and just do that.
No. Okay. All right, Christina, let's zoom out for a sec. You probably heard this expression: tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you who you are. You could probably also say, tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you where you are. Let's talk about food habits or eating habits across the world.
Yeah, let's talk about it because that eating habits and eating portions and sizes differ from country to country. Talking about the portions, the presentation. For example, if we talk about Japan, this is a culture where they enjoy the whole experience. So the portions are small, the presentation is really beautiful. It's like a masterpiece, like a piece of art, the colors, the lines. And that's why they enjoy the whole experience, not the food itself. And let's compare this to the United States, for example. The portions there are generous, and that's okay. So usually a regular meal can feed even three or four people in other countries. But it's also good because it's about feeling comfort, about feeling full, about feeling satisfied. When we talk about, let's say, Ethiopia, it's a country where people get together, they sit at the table, and they have a shared meal. So they put everything on one tray, and they even tend to eat with their hands or bread. And it's also about connection, about feeling this communication with each other. Judy, you're from Nigeria. What's it like in your country?
Oh, I think it's a mixed bag. First of all, we go the way of the Americans when it comes to portions. For us, generally, actually, size actually matters. So for us, we like to have food in large quantities, in big portions. I think because it sort of sends a message culturally of a person's economic status. Small portions, it doesn't really reflect that this is a very financially stable family, you know. So for us, yes, does presentation matter? Yes, it does. But I think size usually takes the cake for us.
Yeah, it's interesting. Here in Ukraine, I would say that we also have big portions because we like to eat. But in fact, traditions differ from region to region. Here in our region, Transcarpathian region, we cook a lot, especially our mothers, this generation. They are. It's all about hospitality. So when we gather together, like to celebrate something, like Easter, for instance. They cook really a lot, including meat, including homemade bread, pastries, and you have to eat. Even if you don't want to eat, you have to eat because it's about respect, it's about culture and traditions.
Interesting. Like I said, we also have such similar experiences in terms of that is similar to Ukrainian tradition, like you said, particularly in the Zakarpattia region. We love this communal family setting, cooking together, eating together. again in large portions.
Yes, and as the cultures mix, there's a new notion that appeared recently, fusion cuisine.
Mm.
Fusion cuisine is a style of cooking that mixes ingredients or techniques from different countries. So fusion is basically a mix of cultures when they blend together and a new meal, a new dish appears. For example, sushi burritos. It might have sounded really strange a few years ago, but now it's okay. So we take a recipe from one tradition, from one culture, and from another, and we create something really new. And some people believe that it's really good because when you create something new, when you mix these two cultures, it's so interesting. For others, it's not really good because they believe that it's like a loss of traditions. It's difficult to distinguish where's the original, where's the fake one. But in my opinion, this is evolution. This is how food culture develops.
Well, we're going to call them culture purists. I mean, these people who want to stick to not necessarily old but conventional traditions. Right? Well, I'm all for mixing of cultures, if you ask me.
Yes, especially here in our region, we have this mix of culture.
Yeah.
We have like different dishes from different cultures, from different countries, and this is who we are. This is our authenticity. Okay, now let's talk about comfort food.
Let's talk about comfort food, Kristina. What is comfort food?
Comfort food is something that you eat when you're sad. It might be sweets or pasta or something rich in fats, carbs. Do you have comfort food?
Well, now that you actually explain it, yes, I do have. I love cakes, particularly like honey cake or even cookies. Usually, I love that when I'm in between meals or after like a very demanding day at work and I just want to relax. I just have some of these treats, and it just sort of like brings back memory. Sort of like there's something nostalgic about just sitting in front of a TV screen and just eating. It just reminds me of when I was younger. Yeah.
Actually, there is a scientific background.
Oh, okay.
When you feel stressed, your brain releases hormone called cortisol. This is a natural response to anxiety, to pressure. And when the cortisol level is high, it is not good for us. So we feel anxious.
Okay.
This is when the comfort food comes in.
Oh.
You eat something rich in carbs, in fats, in sugar, and it is when dopamine is released. Dopamine is this so-called feel-good hormone.
Okay.
So you feel happy, you feel relieved. So this is actually the scientific background of comfort food.
Interesting. So you talked about so it has to be, does it always have to be sweet foods? I mean, I'm growing older, I have to start thinking of like healthier alternatives, but I do like comfort food. So I don't know, help me out. Are there alternatives or the comfort foods are just sweet treats?
Actually, it's not necessarily about sweets. It might be like chicken soup, which your mom used to cook when you were younger. So it's mostly about emotions, something that can bring your memories back from childhood. Sometimes it might be something different. For example, you can even replace your comfort food, which you are craving for, with a walk, let's say. It also releases positive feel-good hormones in your body, but it helps you not to overindulge in sweets. Overindulge in sweets means eating too many sugary foods, more than is healthy or needed. You can go for a walk, you can work out, you can just talk it out to someone, for example. It also can help you feel relieved.
So comfort food can be healthy.
Yeah, sure, it can be healthy.
Got it.
Okay, talking about healthy alternatives, let's talk about strict dieting.
Okay.
Lots of people prefer strict dieting because they believe that it's the best way to lose weight. However, there are both pros and cons of strict dieting. But talking about advantages, many people think that it's easy to follow because of clarity. You have certain plan, you have a list of food that you can eat and you have to avoid. You cannot eat rich in carbs food, you cannot eat after 6 p.m. and that's enough for them. But for the others, it might be difficult because they realize that it's not about health, It's difficult to socialize with friends, to eat out, to celebrate different events. And you also might experience guilt when you break those rules. What do you think about it?
Uh, I want to jump on what you said. I mean, before I do agree with you in terms of dieting and healthy life choices, but you said something about for some people it's difficult. And while you said that, I just remember the food craving just popped in my head. Is it's difficult, right? I mean, we all have food cravings, but then again, it's unhealthy.
Food cravings are strong, sudden desires to eat a specific type of food, often unhealthy or sugary.
So
Actually, yes, we have food cravings, and this is really strange because in one moment you're absolutely okay, and there's the second moment when you just want a donut and you want a specific donut. There is actually an interesting technique how you can manage it, how you can handle these cravings. It is called imaginary eating. You literally imagine that you eat that specific donut. You put it into your hands, you bite it, you chew it, and you swallow it, and you do it over and over again. You kind of convince your brain that you actually ate that donut. And actually, this works, you know. The craving goes away.
So it's like some kind of like mind over matter kind of thing.
Definitely, this technique shows how powerful our minds are.
Amazing. Okay, but what about? I mean, what about sugar? I mean, probably we want to say something a little bit about the sugar. We have sugar in literally everything we eat. You know, so I mean,
yeah, definitely. It is a real problem, you know, because obesity rates are rising all over the world. We tend to eat food rich in sugar, rich in carbs. We tend to eat fast food, and this is also about our lifestyle. We lead sedentary lifestyle. We move less. We eat on the hoof. We hold a phone in one hand and sandwich on in the other hand. A sedentary lifestyle means spending most of your time sitting with little physical activity. If you eat on the hoof, it means you eat quickly while doing something else, often standing or moving without sitting down for a proper meal. And all these effects, all these aspects lead to obesity, to diabetes even, and to different health conditions.
Interesting. Well, let's not forget about food allergies. You know, there are certain people who have to make decisions about what they eat, not necessarily because they are dieting or they're watching their weight, but because of their immune system.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Instagram, TikTok. I mean, you know where this is going. Food as content.
Yeah, because these days food is not just something we eat, it's something we share. Different social media platforms are literally packed with food content, with pictures, images, different cooking tips, cooking challenges. This is not only what we really eat, this is how we show it.
So you're talking performance. I mean, you know, a colorful smoothie bowl, you know, I mean, that's not what we often eat on a Tuesday night, you know?
Actually, that's not necessarily something really bad. It can be really good. For example, it can be something about inspiring, something. It can be something really inspiring. It can be something that help you learn new skills, discover new dishes, and it's also about being connected with each other, about creating bonds.
That's interesting. So, what have we learned today?
Food is more than just fuel. It's the way we experience joy. It's the way we connect with each other and we celebrate culture.
And don't forget, whether it's cooking from scratch.
If you cook from scratch, it means that you cook completely from the beginning using basic, fresh ingredients.
Whether it's eating leftovers or grabbing street food, your eating habit is a story.
Notice what your next meal is and write in the comments.
And don't forget to subscribe and like this video, share with your friends, with your family, and that person who's stalking your Instagram, you know, share it with them as well.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. This is LinguaFY Podcast. My name is Kristina.
And my name is Chudi. See you on the next one.